Escapism is great until you forget it's supposed to end. Getting lost in another world can be the best feeling ever. The journey, the friends you meet, the memories you make, that's the good stuff. It's fun, it's harmless, it's a good way to kill time every now and then. But sometimes someone forgets to read the room, and sometimes someone just won't leave. Sword Art Online is that someone. And this video isn't just me bashing SAO or something like that. There's a billion of those. It's just I want to talk about Kirito, our friendly black swordsman, and his gamer wife and their AI daughter, which is still incredibly goofy to say. But it's just to acknowledge that they keep coming back, even after the story was over. Even after most of us have quietly moved on. It's like when you stay too long at a party and the host starts putting on their pajamas, but you're still there having fun in the corner and he's just kind of looking at you like, hey bruh, what are you doing? And it's not even the fact that I hate Kirito. We actually all loved him at once. We all know we did. We can't pretend like we didn't. He was a survivor. He was a hero. He gave himself the worst nickname of all time. Beater. Just the worst. I don't know who thought that sounded cool, but it doesn't. I promise you it doesn't. But thankfully, we forgave them because they barely brought it up after he coined the term. You remember his first journey, the shock of that first boss fight, the heartbreak when he lost his first real friend in SAO, the excitement we all felt when he unlocked dual-wielding sword skills. That rush we all felt when he finally stood tall after beating the final boss and saved everyone. We'll never forget that. That first ride was special. But like that one guy who keeps wanting to run one more match in Marvel Rivals, but everyone else wants to log off because they got work in the morning, it's time to call it a day. And that's SAO. It just keeps coming back. That's Kirito. He doesn't have to go home, but man, at this point, he can't stay here. Because it's been over a decade. Please go home and rest. You have done enough, my guy. So I'm Remy, and I just want to know if anyone's checked on Sword Art Online, and if not, let's. At its core, Sword Art Online Season 1 hits you with this. 10,000 players log in and they can't log out. Death in the game equals death in real life, with the only way out being beat the game's 100 floors and 100 bosses. And the moment you realize the guy standing next to you might die any second, the stakes feel crushingly real. And this premise was crazy at the time, because in 2012, that was lightning in a bottle right there. The notion of full dive VR just felt right around the corner. MMORPGs were at the peak in real life, and the thought of living inside a virtual world was both terrifying and thrilling. It's like this came out at the perfect time. The stars had aligned and everything had worked out to make this story one of the most impactful anime of that time. And that's not just me saying that. Online, people lost their minds. Forums exploded with theory posts, death flags, breakdown of floor layouts. SAO wasn't just a show, it felt possible. And right smack dab in the center of all that stood Kirito, our chosen one, a new face of isekai. So before SAO, isekai was a thing, sure, but it was niche. You had very popular shows like Escaflowne. A lot of the more current shows were kind of so far removed from isekai that you wouldn't really think they were traditional isekai anime. For example, Inuyasha, Monster Rangers, or Mars. Well, I can say that with certainty for at least my circle of friends. I can't speak for the greater landscape, but after SAO, it just felt like the word isekai was everywhere. That goes to show that SAO wasn't just popular, it reprogrammed anime studio brains. Hey boss, a new season of anime is coming out and we need something new. Oh, you got any good stories you want to animate? Oh yeah, so I found this really unique story. What's it about? Okay, well, the main character gets trapped into another world. Okay, that sounds good. He's overpowered. Okay, that sounds great. He has generic dark hair. Oh, I'm liking where you're going. And he's got RPG mechanic. Okay, you sold me. Stop it. We're greenlighting whatever this is. We're going to print money. Thank you for this completely original idea. Oh, what's the name of this again? Oh, it's the time I got reincarnated as a manga panel. Oh, that sounds amazing. Okay, yeah, greenlight it. Money, money, money. Bye. And it's because of this, Kirito became a prototype. Cool but distant, crazy strong, special from the jump. And before you knew it, the special one player blueprint had become industry standard, and it was here for a long time. And because of this, the most unique thing about light novels after SAO it came out was their names. And man, these names are, I forget how crazy long and so ridiculous some of these names are. For example, that time I got reincarnated with my cell phone, Wise Man's Grandson, the Death March to a Parallel Worlds Rhapsody. What does that even mean? Isekai Cheat Magician and the Massive Ragnarok and the Blesser of Inajar. You know what? We're going to just throw the name up on screen because I suck.
The Master of Ragnarok and the Blesser of Einherjar.
Anyway, I'm just scratching the surface. There are a bunch more. Even non-isekai shows kind of borrow the SAO Kirito blueprint vibe. I'm not saying Jinwoo is a son of Kirito, but there are enough similarities that I feel like you could warrant a conversation around the topic bare minimum. Okay, joking aside, I do think I'm about to say something that's completely appropriate to the conversation that we're having. This man Kirito birthed so many sons in like the span of 2012 to it, 2000, like what, 18? It's kind of ridiculous. And by that I mean people that stole his flow beat for beat and bar for bar. Kirito design is deceptively simple. Black coat, dark hair, stoic attitude, and swords. That's it. Super easy to animate, easy to cosplay, easy to project yourself onto. But over time, that simplicity became a curse. It was literally everywhere. Every new isekai protagonist started to look kind of like a Kirito reskin. All those shows I just mentioned, they all have Kirito clones in it as their main characters. It's like if somebody asked to copy your homework and you're just like, yeah, make sure you change enough to where it's not the exact same, and all they do is change the jacket, or like they make his hair color a bit lighter or the setting different, but it's all Kirito at the end of the day. They all had the same character sheet. He wasn't just a hero, he was the outsider, a lone wolf destined to win, but not without losing something along the way. Oh, also he has a harem, just because Kirito kind of had a harem, so everyone else has a harem. That's just how it works. Don't question it. Don't worry too much about it. It's just how it is. And for a while, fans enjoyed the blueprint. Heck, they might as well say they even loved it at first. But then the cracks started to show. If you didn't know, after Ironclad, SAO kept going and going and going. You've got Alpine Online, elves, magic, really creepy villains, and that weird thing with his cousin that we shouldn't talk about, but they did it. Then you have Gun Gale Online. For some reason, SAO decided we should be a battle royale gun game for a season. I don't understand that personally, but whatever. I wasn't in the room when they made it. Then you have Alicization. AI, children, soul copying, future military tech thing, and Kirito gets involved with the world for the underworld, and that's like a whole thing within itself. And then he also gets his SAO look back because that's just God mode for him. It's just a lot that season, and I didn't finish it because I just got tired. But and just like for me, for a lot of people, the magic faded, the stakes felt lower. Kirito became too perfect, fewer mistakes, fewer struggles, more plot armor. The Chosen One had become almost untouchable. In all honesty, that was just so boring. And because of this, Kirito stopped feeling real to a lot of fans. Don't get me wrong, there were still enough fans to fuel the franchise, but that's when we started getting the Kirito hate. The love was still there, but now it came with a side of eye rolls, like, oh, he's gonna do Starburst Stream again and just solve everything. Wait, he almost died? No, it's fine because plot armor happens. And then just stuff fixes itself, because that happens. Also because everything goes back to Ironclad. Every season, there's like always a connection to Ironclad, it feels like. Even though they beat the game, it never really died. Like literally, for some reason, every other video game in that version of Japan uses the code of Ironclad to build their games on. Personally, I feel like that should be illegal, or some like class action lawsuit against every game dev that wants to do that. People died, there was multiple trauma related incidents because of this. People were like, but like VR game though. Like, it's fine. You want a cool new VR game with fairies and guns? Yes? Okay, then shut up. And while I may be joking, this is true for the actual spin-off material also. It always seems to kind of go back to Ironclad, SAO Hollow Fragments, Integral Factor, Memory Defrag. Even there's a VR experience based on Floor 1. It just seems like every game, every new manga, every new spin-off tries to go back to that original feeling that SAO Season 1 had of being trapped and desperate, which is ironic because it feels like the current state of SAO is trapped between the weight and the height of Season 1 and desperate to reach that again. When SAOs dropped Season 1 in 2012, reactions were nuclear. It was praised for the concept, the early emotional gut punches, the art, and the battles, but it was also criticized. It wasn't perfect. People had things to say about the pacing. Kirito kind of felt too special, too fast. The romance also felt incredibly rushed. But overall, everyone really enjoyed Season 1 of SAO. The fandom itself was incredibly passionate at the best and the worst levels. One minute people were crying over Sachi, the next people were yelling about how Kirito was literally just a cheater because he's so overpowered. It was messy, it was emotional, it was a real fandom. And it solidified SAO as a face of a genre. That means the cast would also become that face. And well, they were all kinda lackluster to some extent. At its heart, it's all about Kirito and Asuna. Kirito started off as a beater, a beta tester that was hated by the rest. The name is the worst. But because of this title he gave himself, what he did next after coming out with it made sense. He isolated himself to survive, but slowly, painfully, he opened up again through battles, through grief, through love. Asuna wasn't just a love interest. She was his strength, his hope, his home away from home. A partner he didn't know he needed. And characters like Klein or Sachi, they grounded the story. They reminded us that real life still mattered. Even in this fake world, their bonds made every death hit harder, every victory feel earned. Even Kirito's loneliness felt justified because of them. There are also other side characters like Liz and Silica. While they played their parts in the main arcs, but most of SAO's side characters never really got fleshed out, besides being Kirito's support squad number 2 or backup girlfriend number 3, so on and so forth. It wasn't until we got extra material that we saw these characters develop in unique, interesting ways. And while I say unique, a lot of them get relegated to super support squad members in later series, but that's just because I guess the plot doesn't need them, which is fair because I don't care what Liz is doing being the blacksmith from season 1 of SAO. We gotta stop these rogue AIs from popping out their eyeballs and trying to take out the world. That sounds weird on paper, but that is kind of the plot for Alicization, but whatever. So how's SAO doing in 2025? Well, SAO is still alive and kicking. Currently, they're on the Unital Ring arc. Here's a quick plot summary. It's combining every VR MMORPG into one super VR MMORPG, which, you know, sounds a bit crazy because, like, how would you even run that on any computer? But you know what? We're not going to think too hard about it. It's SAO. It doesn't want you to think too hard about it. Also, Alice has a physical body. You know what? Don't think too hard about it. They explain it, but you know, I don't think the answer is very satisfying, but that's just me. Whatever. And while this arc is yet to be animated, I'm sure it's coming out not too far in the future, because SAO, it does print money to some extent, or bare minimum, this might become a video game or a mobile game. SAO currently really likes mobile games. And I think it's even more topical since VR technology is literally kind of caught up to SAO. Well, obviously we're not full diving, but we have, you know, VR headsets now. Oculus is real. There's the MetaQuest. I'm pretty sure Elon Musk will probably make some weird single letter version of a gaming console headset because, you know, he's just weird like that. Or maybe Jeff Bezos will. Somebody's going to make something eventually, and then we'll just have SAO in real life. Hopefully without a death game, but you never know with billionaires. You really never know. Maybe they're not feeling lucky that day and we all get kind of trapped in Jeff Bezos' Amazon MMORPG game. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. And me talking noise about billionaires and video games aside, the effect SAO had on the culture is one you can't ignore. Kirito is forever steeped into anime/gaming culture to some extent. Maybe not the hero we wanted, maybe not the hero we needed, but undoubtedly a hero who changed everything. And at the end of the day, not everything has to be the next One Piece, not everything needs to stretch for decades until our grandkids are arguing about who the real Black Swordsman was, because it's guts. It is guts. There is no question. It is actually guts. If you have a weird question about this, stop watching this, please. Get some help, read Berserk or something, I don't know. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm so serious about that. If you think Kirito is the quote-unquote Black Swordsman, get some help, please. You deserve it. Treat yourself to some help. Read Berserk. Get cultured. Anyway, sometimes a story is just supposed to be a good memory, a great ride, a fun little spark that burned bright and ended. Sword Art Online had that moment, the first season when the stakes were real, when logging out wasn't an option, when every week left you with your heart pounding and your jaw on the floor for what just happened. And yeah, I do miss that feeling. I miss how exciting it was, but now it just kind of feels like someone dragging around the same old action figure. It's kind of decrepit, it's broke, people have used it for so long, and it just doesn't feel the same when you see it again. Yeah, they painted it up, they changed the background, they swapped the side characters, they raised the stakes until they're comically absurd. But at the end of the day, it's just another video game he's in, and it's never really gonna feel the same. And guess what? It is what it is. Nowadays, we have so many more isekais that have broken past the Kirito blueprint. Like I said, we have Konosuba, the time I got reincarnated as slime, Overlord, even really dumb ones like that time I got reincarnated as a vending machine. And yeah, I get it. That sounds ridiculous and stupid, and it is. And I have no justification for why that exists. I'm not even gonna try to flip that into some like thing. It is just bad. But I will say, there is no Kirito MC in this one because the MC is a vending machine, but you know, that's a whole can of worms within itself. All this to say, you can still have fun with isekais, even dumb ones like that vending machine one. And yeah, the genre is super oversaturated, but man, that first one for me, that first one hit so much. It was fun, it was new, it was exciting, it was honest, and it was SAO. And I'd rather have a great memory of the first season before it got weird, before it got oversaturated, before Kirito became anime god. I'd rather have that great memory of season 1 than sit here and watch something I really used to love get stretched out into oblivion like it's Mr. Fantastic. Not everything needs to come back. Sometimes it's okay to just hit that sunset because it's okay for SAO to finally go home. We have moved past it as a anime culture fandom. I think it's okay to call it a day. And you've earned it, SAO. You will put in your hours. Please retire. Please. I can't take any more of Kirito. So I'm Remy. Thank you for letting me check up on SAO. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that bell for the next video so you're knowing about it. Like and subscribe and all the fun stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Later. Okay, that's it. Bye.